Hey there, sport. Before we get into the JDS Labs Objective 2 headphone amp review, grab a snack, sit back and relax. You've come to the right place. So first we'll quickly talk about some main specifications that you should be made aware of here. The most important ones really. So max output power is a big one. You want to know that in order to determine if it'll work with a headphone. Luckily, the Objective 2 works with pretty much any headphone. So max output power at 33 ohms is 613 milliwatts, which is quite a lot. At 150 ohms, it's 355 milliwatts. At 600 ohms, it's 88 milliwatts. So basically, this amp can power any headphone, which is why it's such an easy recommendation. And for the price, is pretty much unbeatable. So its output impedance is 0.54 ohms. And we'll talk about that in a bit. Battery runtime, so there's batteries inside, rechargeable, 6 to 8 hours before you're going to have to charge it again. Connections include input 3.5 millimeter or RCA, but that's custom built on the JDS Labs website, and I'll put a link down below. You can customize this one quite a bit, which is cool. The outputs are 3.5 millimeter or 1/4 inch, and you can also customize that. The demo unit that they sent me came 3.5 millimeters. So you also have the option for a 2.5x gain or 6.5x. That's pretty much it. It comes with a 15 volt AC adapter. Make sure you only use the one that they supply you, because you'll be running into a lot of problems otherwise. In fact, it might not even charge correctly. It might damage the unit. So don't even use anything else. Just use the one that they gave you. So build quality of this is really, really good. Feels solid. It's not like heavy or anything, but it's definitely rugged. It feels like it could withstand a drop or two. The volume knob feels really good. The power button as well. You press it in. It's not like a click. It's more of a fluid motion. You push it in, it goes back, and then it comes forward. There's also a gain switch or a gain button on here as well. On the front of the unit, there's the 20 volt AC jack, the power button, the headphone jack, the volume knob, and the gain button, as well as a line out, which you will need if you're going to plug it into a DAC. With the standalone amp, you're going to have to use a separate DAC, which is not a big deal. I use the Modi. You can also use the OL DAC from JDS Labs, which is probably what you should pair this with. The differences between DACs are very, very, very minimal. Even more minimal than the differences in headphone amps. Any decent DAC will do. I tested this one with a Cambridge Audio DAC Magic 100. I think it's a tad cleaner than a Modi or an OL. It could be my imagination. Probably is. So what about its features? We touched on a few of them. A couple of them. The gain button. So if you have headphones that need a little bit more juice, just press that puppy in.
And away you go.
I would have maybe liked a bass boost. I think JDS Labs would have done that very well. Basically, you can plug anything in here and it's going to sound really clean, really neutral. Without the gain button pushed in, I find 2 o'clock to be about the sweet spot for most headphones. With the gain button pushed, 11 o'clock does really well. You're not going to really have to push these past 2. But even at louder volumes, it's extremely clean. We talked about the JDS Labs CMOI in my other review. Pushing those up, you start to hear a little bit of slight distortion. Not noise, I would say, but the sound isn't as clean as something like this. It's just really, really, really clean, even at ear-piercing levels. I didn't push it all the way up, but for a couple seconds, I turned the volume up past 2, and it was just really, really distortion-free.
Clean as a whistle.
The output impedance is also very low. You want a number as close to 0 as possible. An output impedance of 0 basically just means that the amp will deliver the same output at any load. Ensures consistency across a wide spectrum of headphones. If it's not 0, if it's like higher, you're going to get a lot of discrepancies. The bass might sound kind of flabby, but it just depends on the headphone really. So that's why it's better to just look for that number to be really low. So if the output impedance is not 0, if it's like a lot higher, this basically just means that the voltage produced by the source will be reduced when a headphone is connected, in effect diminishing the overall sound quality. Yeah, pretty important. Not going to get into it much deeper than that. I'll provide a link below where you can check out a good math equation to ensure that your headphones will work with the amp.
Yep, Peru.
Yeah, I mean, basically this amp's going to give you one of the cleanest signals. Very neutral, crisp. I didn't feel like I was in the studio, but I felt like I got a sense of the studio space. It was weird. It's hard to describe. It's like just a lot of good instrument separation and width and spacing. I wrote down here, it's like you're getting a glimpse into the recording environment where the track was made. You kind of get a sense of being in the studio with certain tracks, as there's this phenomenal sense of spacing and air. If the track is bad, you'll probably know about it fairly quickly. But with good sources and good files, this headphone amp delivers. So yeah, also great for gaming, obviously. You get a nice 3D image, 3D soundscape. Everything's ridiculously clean. You start to hear subtle nuances in the music and the environment. You can pinpoint where things are a lot better. So yeah, my final grade for the JDS Labs Objective 2 is an A+. Whoop whoop. Phenomenal amp, great price, no BS. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my growing channel. And with that,
Check 1 2. I hope you enjoyed this review too. It was brought to you by Stu, who, me, the lyrical G, empirical dreams slide through like green. PC gaming, letting off steam, got bars for days like a prison inmate. A misdemeanor's fate, no debate when I wake up. Okay, start my day with a cup and I pray I don't faint. I'm a saint of the Most High God, of the Most High God.